welcome to Atractylodes. This is a wonderful herb that has centuries of use in traditional Chinese medicine, TCM, and it's considered one of the best Qi tonics or energy tonics available. And there's actually two different kinds, so let's take a look at that from both a Western and a traditional Chinese medicine perspective. So one kind is what's known as Bai Zhu, and that's Atractylodes macrocephalia, and it's also known as white Atractylodes, right? So these are roots. It's going to be a little whiter colored. Cang Zhu is also Atractylodes chinensis, otherwise known as black Atractylodes, and its roots consequently are much, much darker. Both types are tonic herbs. Both are wonderful for building qi, and especially for dealing with conditions that are identified in traditional Chinese medicine with dampness. So dampness is a pathogenic factor. It's, if you consider the digestive tract, which this herb is particularly good at, dealing with conditions related to inflammations and dampness with this area, you want your stomach to be like a warm pot where things can be fermenting. Not too hot, it's going to steam everything off. Not too cold, or you're going to get bloating, sluggish, right? So this is an herb that can go in and kind of help keep the area warm and functioning properly. Too much dampness, you're going to suppress that heat, right? So both varieties are used to treat jaundice, all these kinds of different sort of ailments around digestion, liver, stomach kind of things. Other things as well. You want to check out at White Rabbit Institute of Healing our herb section on Atractylodes. A lot of interesting applications. The ancient Taoists used to use the herb to counter the loss of body weight and appetite that was associated with their alchemical activities, where they were consuming heavy metals in the look for longevity and turning lead into gold and all these sorts of things. They used their own bodies as vehicles for testing this, because part of this was about also changing your consciousness as a whole. It was an herb that was considered just it's in the ancient texts as one of the key herbs for end times, not meaning the end time of the planet, but of a person approaching their own death, so that you would build your qi not to stay in the body, but so that you could keep your focus, right? The Tibetan Book of the Dead is all about this transformation into the next world, and the meditative practices that go along with focusing your consciousness and having the strength to fight off ghosts or things that could distract you and keep you from having eternal connection with everything that's bright and divine. That's Atractylodes. All right, so Bai Zhu is most frequently used. It is the white Atractylodes. People using Cang Zhu, it's a little bit more drying in comparison, so it'll often be prepared in like rice dishes known as congee, where you cook it up just to kind of help balance the drying activity. Bai Zhu is going to be harvested in the late autumn to winter, and the later the better, right? You want all those nutrients getting down into the roots. It's typically cultivated. It is not harvested in the wild. Cang Zhu is more typically harvested in the wild, and it's going to be a browner root, as we just talked about a little bit ago. Bai Zhu can be used raw to further enhance its dry dampness properties and promote urination. Dry fried, it will be used to help strengthen and tonify what's known as spleen qi. That's that kind of middle digestive area. And scorched Bai Zhu is best used for stopping diarrhea. So you can see it has all these applications around digestion. It's also considered in traditional Chinese medicine to be really wonderful for strengthening legs and muscles. So this is an herb that's used with cancer chemotherapy when, again, the digestive system has been kicked out of whack because of radiations and things that are affecting it. It's an extraordinary herb. If you have any questions or comments, please leave it below. I'd love to hear from you. And you might want to consider our Healing Herb Health course on Atractylodes. This is an herb with a tremendous amount of research behind it and confirmation of use for healing body, mind, and spirit.